Hello my good students, I hope you all are doing well. This is a very short introductory video which goes over downloading or the process of downloading our IDE, which for our class we're going to use an IDE called Eclipse. So if you go to eclipseide.org, or you can go to Google and just type in Eclipse, or you can click on Eclipse download. We would go to eclipse.org, or you can go to this one as well. So if I come over here, there's my Eclipse and I can click on this download. But alternatively, if you go to Eclipse IDE, you can download it from here as well. Now, this is the new format, which is the download 24-06. So if I click on this one, this is my installer, and I can install it for both Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. And for us, we're going to use the Windows version, but if you prefer to download it in a different OS, you can do that as well. And if I click on download, it should come back and download my Eclipse. It would from time to time ask you to come and give some money here. You don't have to. You can just exit out of this. And once this download happens, I'm going to install the Eclipse. And it's a pretty simple process where you just click on the default option and click on using next, and that should get you Eclipse downloaded. So it seems like everything is downloaded. I'm going to just open my exe file, and it actually opened my Eclipse installer. I have multiple screens, so that's why you don't see it here as soon as okay, here it is. So now I have the Eclipse for the Java developers. And now Eclipse is something that you can use in other ones as well. But for our purposes, we are just going to use this one. So Eclipse IDE, and I will create a menu and a desktop shortcut. So I'm going to go ahead and install. And this actually installs the Java 21 virtual machine. This is the most latest one, so that's why I wanted to do this video. And now you should just go ahead and click on next and make sure that everything is downloaded and installed. And after it's all done, we'll just write a very simple program just to make sure that everything is working fine and test the IDE. So at this point, I see everything is downloaded, so I'm going to just launch my IDE, and I can minimize this. So the first time when you open or launch your IDE, it comes back and asks you to create this workspace. It's called Eclipse Workspace, and I can leave it where I would like to. So at this point, I am in my C drive and in my user profile. If you would like to save it at some other place, you can do so, but I would like to leave it at the same default place. And if I don't want this message to show up, I can always click on this, and that would not show this message or show this window. Every time I would launch it, it would just open my IDE. So here is my Eclipse IDE. So I'm going to go to File, New, and create a Java project. And once I create a Java project, I would make sure that I would use my default location, which is my workspace. And I would call this my first project, and make sure that I'm using my Java 17, and I would create separate folders, but the rest of it does not need to be checked. And I'm going to click on next, and it says that this is what my first project is going to be, and there's going to be a folder called SRC, or the source folders, and I'm going to say finish. So at this point, I should have my first project. And if I go to my first project, right click on it and go to new, and then create a class. This is how I would create my first class. So I'm going to say my first class, And if I check on this method, public static void main, which we will be talking about later on, it will basically write the main method for me, and I can click on generate comments. At this point, I don't need an inherited abstract method, so my class name is called first class. In Java, you have to save the file as first class because otherwise it's not going to run. So if I click on finish, you will see that now my template code is being provided because it's an advanced IDE, so I don't have to write everything from scratch from the beginning. The only thing I got to do is come in here and write a system.out.println code. And let's see, I am still seeing that there is an error over here, but let's see if that goes off once I type semicolon. These are little syntaxes that you have to use for your Java. And at this point, it seems like you wrote your first class with a simple print statement. And if I run my program by clicking on this icon over here, or I can come to run and choose to run. So I'm just using it from here, and then I should see my output right over here. So this is my IDE platform, and I'll talk about some of the other windows that you see here. But for the most part, this is called your Package Explorer. This is the project that you created, and inside the project you created your first class, and once you write it and execute it, this is the output that you get from this particular program. So this is a contained IDE where everything is shown in one of the windows that Eclipse provides. Thank you.